I think there's something really important that I want to share today. You need to be fine with being by yourself. The only person that you have is yourself. People are going to go. Your family's going to go. One day you're going to be out of the house if you're not already. And the only person you have is yourself and God. And what I realized a while ago, but it's easy to get off track, is who you should focus on is God. Because he's the only person that's never going to leave your side. Never. He's never going to leave your side. Depending on what you do, to be honest. I mean, like, might blaspheme the spirit, and you're done. But, you know what I'm saying? God chooses who he has mercy on. God chooses who he has grace on. But God is a very merciful and loving God. He's very patient. Now, we live our day-to-days like for ourselves. We live our day-to-days without acknowledging God. But and talking to all these people, but not talking to God. God is your best friend. He's never left you. He never will. Because he loves you. He's giving you an opportunity before he comes back, or before you die, to talk to him, to meet him, to have that relationship with him. And recently I've been on this journey to deepen my relationship with him, because he really is a loving God. And the things I see when he does stuff is just amazing. Like, they're amazing, man. I was about to go in surgery, and they did an MRI on my ACL. They were seeing what I did to my knee after getting injured in basketball. And they said, it looks like you tore your ACL completely and tore your MCL completely. So he says, if you tore your MCL completely, then you can't take this option to let your knee regrow. Then you will have to go and get a replacement MCL, and then a surgery on your ACL. MCL and ACL. And this replacement for the MCL, dude, if I had that MCL replacement, I would have developed arthritis in my 20s. Probably have a robotic knee by 30. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, what? And he's telling me this. He's like, hey, man, that's the truth. And I was freaking out because I was still focused on basketball, right? And now I have this predicament. I was by myself. I was in the lowest point of my life freshman year. I knew nobody. Made it to high school, and all my friends went to other schools. I was by myself at this new school. The whole school year, I was by myself. I was eating alone at lunch. And then on top of that, I tore this, and I might get arthritis in my 20s. I cried, man. And I prayed. I was like, Lord, please make a way for me. And he did. Luckily, he did. Luckily, I did have my MCL was still intact. My meniscus was still there. And it was only a partial tear with my ACL. Worst part is, this was the second time doing it in a year or 2 years. Yeah. Prayer, bro. It's a beautiful thing. When you pray, God listens. He hears you and he answers your cry. He answers your call. And this is now leading into my freshman to sophomore summer. I knew nobody. I had no one. I had no friends. I was lonely. I was sitting on a couch after this surgery, miserable pain. Just watching. What was I watching? Attack on Titan. Bro, I don't even watch anime. I got such in my feelings. I was watching anime. And an excruciating pain. After surgery for your knee, bro, it was the worst pain I ever experienced in my entire life, bro. I kid you not. I guarantee it was worse than birth pains for women. Like, gang, if you barely move the wrong direction, you could feel like it was wrapped up in like this bandage. And when I turned to my left, I would feel the scar, and I feel all the blood draining to that area. I'm like, ugh. You can feel the fluids just moving around, and you got this thing, and you're stuck in this position. But that's besides the point. This is what I'm telling you. In this, I only had God. I only had God. On top of that, I wanted to go to the NBA, and I just faced 2 ACL injuries. I only had God. My dreams literally failed. I had no friends. I just destroyed my body and had to get it replaced with something fake. Well, it regrew, and then the first time I had something fake that put into it. So that time, I realized there's nothing. I didn't know what to do because my focus was such on playing basketball that I was like, okay, I'm just going to spend my time with the Lord. And I picked up the Bible and I just read. My life was changed. And God used all of this stuff for good. I learned how to be by myself. I learned what my real purpose is, and that's chasing God. And that's everyone's purpose. I learned that I don't need anyone else. I could be independent. And as a man, struggle is something every man should go through. It's good for you to go through struggle. Going through stupid and hard stuff is good for you, man. It might not feel that way. You might feel terrible. Mom might just died. Your parents just went to prison. But big butt. We go through the hard things to make someone else's life easier. So they don't have to go through what we went through, what you went through. And I tell people all the time, just focus on God. Don't focus on these sports. Let that be secondary. God goes first. Always put him at the center of everything. Because if you don't, it's going to tremble down like a house made on sand. That's in the Bible. Let God be your foundation, your rock. And life's just too short, man. We're only promised like 60 years. And if you're like 15, if you're 20, you got 40 more years, bro. That's not long at all. And then one day you're gonna die. You're gonna have your burial. Your parents are gonna be sad for a while. And then after, everyone will forget. Everyone will forget about it and move on with their lives. And then you will never be remembered unless you do something on this world, unless you made an impact on this world. Better yet, where are you going after death? Because eternity is eternity. It's forever. It's longer than 100 years. It's longer than 1,000 years, 10,000, a million years, a trillion years, bro. Your life is so short. There was a pastor. He pulled out this big rope, and it was like basically representing your life, or forever, you know, after death too. And he showed in the rope. Showed in the rope. The rope's super long, right? It's super long. Your life was about this big, bro. In a whole long rope. Let God be your foundation. I hope this helped.